In 1917, the United States entered a war in Europe for the first time. Well over 100,000 Americans died in World War I. A proud yet melancholy task began: recovering, identifying, and laying to rest America's fallen. A critical question arose: should their remains all be repatriated, or should they be buried near the battlefields where they fell and rest in peace with their comrades? Former President Theodore Roosevelt's own beloved son, Quentin, had been killed in aerial combat over France. The president wrote, "Mrs. Roosevelt and I have always believed that where the tree falls, there let it lie. We greatly prefer that Quentin shall continue to lie on the spot where he fell in battle." Their wishes were honored. Families were given the choice. The remains of their loved ones could be brought home or buried overseas.
My grandparents opted to leave my father's body in Belgium, and I'm really glad they did. I can't think of a more beautiful place for him to be.
It was appropriate for him to be near the men he fought with.
And they both decided that let him be where he died, with his buddies that he died with.
General John Pershing was the commander of the American Expeditionary Forces in World War I. After the armistice, he and others worked to find a way to commemorate the American dead. In 1923, an act of Congress created the American Battle Monuments Commission. Its mission was simple but difficult: to honor the service, achievements, and sacrifice of thousands of fallen Americans on a continent far away. The new agency's initial role was to construct monuments paying homage to the achievements of the American Expeditionary Forces. Soon after, the ABMC was given the additional task of building chapels at each of the American military cemeteries in Europe. The agency helped design and landscape these burial grounds, creating places of special beauty and serenity. In 1930, the United States government began sponsoring an extraordinary kind of pilgrimage. It invited Gold Star mothers and the widows of soldiers killed in action to visit the final resting places of sons and husbands. Veteran Army officers acted as tour guides. Over 6,000 Gold Star pilgrims found solace and closure in these journeys.
Back then, travel was very expensive and very difficult, so for these widows and mothers, it was the first and probably last time they would visit their loved ones' graves. And so we had to make sure that we escorted them and gave them what they needed to visit the graves.
In 1934, the role of the ABMC changed forever. President Franklin D. Roosevelt issued an executive order, making the agency responsible for maintaining American military burial grounds overseas. This assignment has been carried out with meticulous devotion ever since. Today, the American Battle Monuments Commission maintains World War I burial grounds, memorials, markers, and monuments across Western Europe. World War I was called the war to end all wars. It brought so many new technologies of destruction and cost so many lives that many believed another global war would be impossible. But the idea of lasting peace turned out to be a forlorn hope. Just a generation later, America and the world were again forced into war. This time, the United States countered aggression and inhumanity in both Europe and the Pacific. More than 400,000 Americans gave their lives.
When men ship out for war, they have to understand the gravity of what's ahead. But I would think he was probably hoping that he would get home to his wife and daughter and family. That I'll do my job, and then I'll come back.
It's a circumstance that had to be debilitating to most of our men, and yet they persevered.
They laid down their lives. They sacrificed literally everything for unknowns. They gave freedom to the world.
Today, the ABMC maintains memorial sites and burial grounds in over 24 places in Europe, Africa, and the Pacific to honor those who served in World War II.